Welcome, guys, to another episode of the Christian Buddy Show. I am now joined with Jesse. Hey, how you feeling today?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. So the
Yeah.
podcast, awesome, thank you. And the podcast today is entitled "The Amazing Fighter, Coach, and All-Round Awesome Guy." So I want to really unpack a few things today, and I guess firstly, I want to unpack your experience in fighting, because just by looking at your Instagram, I can see that is it Muay Thai you're into, or MMA, or
Well, I first started with just Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and just practicing that when I was younger. I wasn't really into it that much, and I knew I wanted to fight, and I ended up finding a Muay Thai coach for stand-up. And so yes, I got into Muay Thai, but I also do MMA too. So I'm an amateur fighter. I'm 1-1 in Muay Thai and 2-0 in MMA. And then I'm fighting in the USA Open Muay Thai tournament in Iowa in June, I believe.
damn, all the best for that. And what's do you have any funny stories? I mean, like, I know that like the night before a big fight, I know it's like the common thing to get nerves and butterflies, and I guess, how do you deal with the nervousness of having to fight?
Well, I've had 4 fights. I'm pretty calm, but before the fight, the it's the leading up to the fight that's nerve wracking. When you get to the
Yeah.
fight, it's finally time to fight. You've been practicing and you've gone through the medicals, you've gone through the weigh-ins, and now it's time to fight. So there was one fight where the previous fight I had broke my nose, so I had to get cleared by a doctor,
Yeah.
and I had to get cleared by a doctor, and the Kaiser. I here in you're not from the United States, right?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
So
No.
and we have Kaiser in California. I know it's not everywhere, but the Kaiser wasn't clearing me to fight, and they because of my broken nose for some reason. It's just a broken nose. It was healed. It had already been months, and so I'm 3 months of trying to get cleared for the fight, and the doctor is still telling me no. And so now we're about 3 days before the fight, and the doctor told me no. This was the last time I was going to go to the doctor. I went to the doctor told me no, and that I couldn't fight because of the broken nose. They weren't really giving me a reason. They were saying just because I broke it, I'm going to re-break it again. It was weird because a bunch of fighters break their noses. That's why it was such a weird thing, right? And so I'm 3 days before the fight, and I'm just like, I'm driving home after they told me no, and I'm just like, gosh darn it, I don't. I was upset, right? Because I figured I wasn't gonna fight. So
Yeah.
I was already on weight. I didn't really need that much of a cut, maybe like 3 pounds of a cut. And I end up going to Jack in the Box. So I was pissed off. I drove to Jack in the Box and
So that's like is it like a burgers or fast food?
yeah,
Is it?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's fast food. And so I was like, I'm not gonna fight. I'm pissed off. I drove to the fast food place. I ate like basically like a triple, like 3 beef, like 3 patties, a bunch of bacon, a bacon burger basically, and large Coke. Just basically ate my feelings away. And then my coach gives me a call. Hey, I found a doctor that will clear you, and that's a sports doctor. He deals with fighters all the time. So I drove to the sports doctor, and he cleared me. Bad situation. I already ate that burger, and I was pissed off at myself. But in the
Was
end,
the
it
burger
was
good? Did it taste
yeah,
nice?
it tasted good, but I didn't. It didn't affect my weight. I still made weight. It was a little harder, but I still made weight. But it's the whole process of going through a fight. It's nerve wracking for some people, right? It's because if you don't know, they or before you fight, they check your blood pressure. They check everything, and you're about to fight this guy, and they expect for your blood pressure to be low. Like it's not through the roof, but it's higher than usual. And they're like, "Why is your blood pressure so high?" Because I'm about to fight this dude. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is there like any animosity between you and the fighter? I mean, I know like Conor McGregor's kind of taken it to a new level, but it's like I always thought like the fighter has to be like very disciplined and very peace and like a Zen state. Do you, like what's going through your like? Is there any animosity between you and your opponent, or is it like just peace and stillness, or like what? Yeah.
So I'm
Um.
I'm a I'm an amateur fighter. I've only had 4 fights, and I'm still finding my way, right? I'm still finding my mentality, my I guess not drive, but just myself as a person, as a fighter, right? And I was just talking to a professional fighter on my podcast, and he was talking about like the alpha male mindset, and he's like, his mindset is, I could take on anybody, I could beat anybody, and I'm gonna come into a room not with just fighting with anything in life. He's just gonna attack it just like that, like just being an alpha male. And I realized about myself, like, I don't have that yet. Like I will fight anybody, but I'm not. I don't know if I'm too nice, but I'm very relaxed right before a fight, and I want to find that mindset where I just want to kill, change that mindset. Me, it's just like I'm just gonna go for a fight. Like, it's just a sporting event, right? There's no there's no
Yeah.
there. I don't hate the person. They're just a person there to in a sporting event. We're just gonna go back and forth and see who wins.
Yeah. I
But
guess
then
it's
some people have that mindset where they're gonna kill the guy, right? So
yeah. I guess like it really shows my inexperience because I guess my only knowledge of fights is through the UFC, and I think the UFC really glorifies all these dudes that they just want to rip each other's heads off, but I mean I think
but it is like that, though. It is
yeah.
like, you're fighting. If you're not in there to rip the other person's head off, then what are you doing? But as martial artists, they're one of the most calm, humble people ever.
Yeah.
Most martial artists are not assholes. If like, they're not jerks. They're not angry. Most
Yeah.
martial artists are really calm and really really well thought out.
Mm,
Not barbarians, basically.
yeah. Do you play chess?
Yes, I do.
Does does chess impact your game at all, or yeah?
I'm just a weird dude where I just do everything. I just try to, like, I do fighting, I do the podcasting,
Yeah,
I play
nice.
chess. I picked up chess because of podcasting. Because I ended up finding a master chess player, and he was talking about the game of chess, and I ended up watching Queen's Gambit, and then that's when I really started diving into chess. I'm not a good chess player, but anybody that comes into my little studio setup, we play chess, and so far I'm 3-0 in my home field advantage.
Yes. What's your favorite piece?
My my favorite piece. It's funny because I love just going forward, right? So I'm just attacking. I'm trying to figure out, like, how to end the game,
Okay.
and I don't really have like a favorite piece. It's just I know how to start. I know, like, the mid game. It's the ending part. Like,
The end
I
part.
I
Yeah.
I stalemated with 2 queens before, and that was horrible. And I was just like, what the
No.
hell?
No. No.
And
No.
it's
Yeah.
yeah.
It's all about, yeah, like I love chess. It's all about precision. It's all about calculation, and I think there's a guy called Gary Kasparov, and yeah, he's got this book, and he's amazing. He's all about attack, and he's always like the best defense is a good offense, and I'm not really doing it justice, but No, like he's an awesome dude to follow, Gary Kasparov. So wise, so intellectual, and yeah, I love chess. Like I feel like it should be taught more in schools and things like that, because if we like apply chess to life, and you're making the best move in your life, you're winning. Like you're gonna start getting gains in all sorts of areas. So yeah, I feel that's a good aspect of life. So
Yeah, and it's crazy because through chess, like when I first started playing, I was just moving pieces, just leaving my pieces hanging. And one of my buddies said, like, it was right when I first started. He's like, you gotta keep every piece that you move has to be protected, and that stuck with me, not just in chess playing, but with everything. Like every move I make, there has to be like a it has to be well thought out. It can't just because I'm a person that just does stuff on the fly. Like if I think of something, I'm gonna do it, and that's my problem. So I need every time I make a move in life, it has to be protected. It has to be well thought out. So I that's the reason why I love chess.
yeah, nicely put. Yeah, I think that's my problem as well. I think but do you think that's a strength though? Like let's say like if I'm somebody that just goes 100% and really does what they say, do you think that's a strength in life, as opposed to somebody who doesn't really make much action but is very thoughtful? And do you is that am I making sense at the moment, or
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
yeah,
It's it's like an even ground, right? Because this podcast, like the studio behind me and everything, wouldn't have came to life if I didn't just do stuff on the fly, right? And so that's a good thing about it. But once you like, there's a middle ground, because if you do that all the time, then it just you're living in chaos. And
yeah,
my whole the way I lived is it's just chaos, and that's why that's why I got married. My wife brings me to this middle ground where it's like I'm not that she just holds me back. Hey, we gotta do this, we gotta do that. You can't just jump into things. We gotta make it even, right? It's
yeah.
so it's a middle ground. You can't just always do it. Sometimes it works, and in some moments, right? Like when it need to be, when you need to be. I just lost my word.
Like
When you
thoughtful,
need to
like
leave, like
when you
spur of the moment, like just right
okay.
away. Like if you need to think of something fast, it's a great trait to have. But if you're living like that constantly in chaos, then you're gonna end up getting burnt out. If that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, it
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah, yeah. I think like some of my decisions in my life have been on a whim, and then I look back and I'm like, oh, what did I do that for? But then I think it's like that's life though. I think you gotta like I think it's like life is made up of those people who just go for it. Like I think you just have to kind of sometimes you just have to go for it and try and make the most of that situation.
What
And
what do you do? What do you do for a living?
I'm in IT.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
so I just lost my job at the moment. So I'm looking for
Uh,
jobs now. So
a
yeah,
job's a job's a job. I
yeah.
ended up quitting my job to go after fighting, and to go after, I guess, podcasting too now.
Wow. Has that been on you at the moment?
So it's a struggle, because not money wise, because I've always thought that money will come and money will go. Like
Yeah.
I've learned that throughout my life. It's easy to make money, um, but time is more valuable than money, and that's kind of why I quit, because I wasn't there for my daughter. I was driving for FedEx 12 hours a day. I wasn't there for my daughter. I wasn't there for my family, and I needed to quit. And I also loved fighting, so I found a coach, and I ended up fighting. And now through the pandemic, I did a podcast. So the hardest part about it is not thinking. The hardest part about not having a job and not having a somewhere to clock in and know that you're going to get a paycheck every Friday is just that, because my mind constantly thinks
Yeah.
my
It's
mind constantly thinks like when I get up, I have to put food on the table for my family. So I'm going from the morning till night till I go to bed, and right when I wake up, I'm going trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to make money? How am I going to bring in income? What do I got to do? So I'm never stopping Monday through Sunday. So my wife just stops me. Hey, you're doing too much. You need to relax. Don't do anything today. So that's the hardest part.
yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think males do you think like the male is the provider of the family, or what's your opinion on that?
It's there's always that feeling, right? I grew up with
Yeah.
a dad that told me like, oh, the dad's got to provide, and it's always like that. The way we grew up, the dad has to provide, the dad has to provide, and it's hard. It's hard. It weighs on you. Like if you don't,
Yeah.
if you lose your house, if your kid starves, if you if something happens, it's on you,
Yeah.
and that's a lot of pressure, and it's constantly on my mind, but it keeps me going. It's like dad mode, just
Mm.
boom, 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 just go, 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 go. Because I had a friend that recently lost her husband, and
Oh
she's
no.
she's taking she's taking care of her kids, and
Yeah.
she said that she didn't really understand how a dad feels, like that weight. It's heavy. It's really heavy, and I just thought, I was like, man, that's crazy. I never really thought that there is a weight to it. There is a feeling of it's your fault if it fails, you know? So
Yeah. I guess I'm 30 years old, like, and I'm not at that stage of my life yet. But yeah, I feel like were you ready though? Were you ready to be a father?
so that's another thing. My daughter is my stepdaughter. So I didn't start
Okay.
raising her till I've been raising her since she was 5 years old. Um I was met my wife I met my wife at 22 years old, and the dad has been in and out of her life, and I've basically been raising her. It's hard to say just to say it. I've been
I get
raising
ya.
her. So
Yeah.
yeah, I've been raising her, and I was at 22. I wasn't even ready to get married. That's a whole different like.
Yeah.
I just said, you know what? Like I told you, I live in chaos, and I just got married like out of the whim. Like I just, you know what? I'm just gonna get up. We're gonna get married today, and we're gonna call it that we're husband and wife. And I wasn't ready, but luckily I got married that young, because everybody getting married now has to go through the rough stages of being married, right? The first few years are hard. Now me and my wife are perfectly married. We're not happy all the time, but we're mature now. So
Yeah. Now all the best on that. Yeah. I guess yeah, it's interesting that idea of raising somebody else's child. I mean, I can't really comment too much because I haven't done it. I haven't got any experience. But did that pass your mind? Did that come through your mind at one point, or
that if it was somebody else's child,
yeah,
uh, my daughter, she's a special girl.
yeah,
When
yeah,
I
yeah,
first met her, it wasn't. Believe me, if I didn't like the kid, I wouldn't have been with my wife. You know,
yeah,
because you got to live with that kid and your girlfriend or wife forever. I mean, if you end up deciding to get married, and you have to know that you're going to end up having a relationship with this kid too. And if you don't like
yeah,
the kid, then you can't do it. So when I first met my daughter, she was an amazing kid, and she has cochlear implants. She's deaf, so she can't hear. She's completely deaf, but they did surgery where they implanted a magnet inside her head, her skull, which allows her to hear with a device that's connects to it, right?
wow,
And when she takes them off, she can't hear anything. And even though she's dealing with that, she's a bright kid. She gets all A's. She's in the softball
nice,
team, cross country team. she's just a normal kid. And when I first met her, I just knew she was different. And that's one of the reasons why I stayed with my wife too, because I seen how she raised this little girl on her own, and it says something. And I treat her like she's my own daughter. I don't treat her like she's my stepdaughter. I call her my daughter. And it's just something you can't just raise it. It has to be on both ends, right? So if you first meet your stepchild, and if your stepchild doesn't like you, you're in for a rough start,
no.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but my daughter, we connected. Like there was just something there. So, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, and just don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like a simple rule for life. Don't be an asshole. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Cool. All right. Are you training her to fight or
Yeah.
like
So I'm.
yeah? Okay.
Oh, sorry.
No, sorry. Go ahead. What you training her to fight?
Yeah, I have a fight in June. We've been rescheduling so many times, but now things are starting to open up here in the Western United States, because the only things that were open were all the way in the East Coast, and to travel right now it's kind of hard. So we haven't really done anything. But in June I'm fighting in Iowa, and it's a tournament. It's a USA Muay Thai tournament, and it's
Nice.
full rules, elbows, which I broke my nose before during a fight because of elbows. But elbows, knees, it's full rules, right? And I'm excited because I haven't fought in a year, so it's gonna be fun. So I've been training. The training's gonna be upped pretty soon, and it's a hard life, man. This year really tested me if I really want to do this, right? And this last year, and it really tested me if I really wanted to do this, because there was no fighting, there was nothing, right? So it
Damn.
just I'm just happy that it's back. I'm slowly getting back into things, and I'm just happy, man. I'm happy that it's back, and I'm happy that other fighters are fighting too.
Yeah, for sure. Have you
Shout out
ever
to
been?
yeah.
Shout out to who? Sorry.
My gym, Strike Fitness, Amber Pope, my coach, woman coach.
Shout out.
Awesome. Yeah.
Have you ever been hit by an elbow?
Yes. So that's Muay Thai, right? That's what makes Muay Thai awesome, because of clinch. In the clinch, there's elbows. And I always say I haven't won a real fight because I haven't won a fight with elbows yet, because I've done basically it's like Muay Thai without elbows, so it's basically kickboxing, and I won those fights. Yeah, and I won MMA, but in amateur MMA, there's no elbows. So the one fight that I lost was with elbows, and so I say that I haven't won a real fight yet, and I can't wait to actually win a fight that has elbows in it. And my first.
That's like walking into the fire right there. It's like yeah, I can only imagine what it's like to get sliced with an elbow. Like I see it all the time, like gashes and think. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Fighting's awesome. Honestly, like fighting, it changed my life. And even though I'm not like a top fighter, I'm not like if you look at my page, I don't promote myself as a fighter. Like I recently just really started promoting myself as just a person, right? I don't want to promote myself as a fighter, because it's like I don't want to put myself in that box. Fighting is one part of my life that just changed me. It literally changed the direction of my life. If it wasn't for fighting, then I wouldn't be here on this podcast with you. I wouldn't be here with my own podcast. Everything that, even how I bought my house, was through the gym that I was fighting for, somebody that I met there, and it's just. It changed the direction of my life, and I don't want to show people like I'm this badass fighter. It's hard to promote that, because I'm not. I'm just some dude that just started fighting late, and that it humbled me. And I hope that everybody could do martial arts and be able to see how humbling it is, and and that it's okay to be healthy, right? Like once you're healthy, like I was just talking to a buddy. I talk a lot. I'm sorry. I was just talking to a
That's
buddy of
right.
mine. I was just talking about a buddy of mine that the number one, like 50% of life to being happy is just being in shape, right? Like it's if you're just healthy and in shape and working out, like your life is that much better because you could go do stuff that's physically active, right? You could go
Yeah.
hike a mountain. You could go play basketball with your friends. Even some people have a hard time walking down like a grocery store. You know what I mean? Like it's just you could go hang out with your kids. You know, it's
Yeah. It's beautiful. It's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. So okay, so let's say for one day you're the president of the United States. What are three things that you would implement? Like, what are three rules? You could choose any three rules for your country. What would you choose?
One, I wouldn't want to be president, but
Okay.
no, the first one, health,
Health. Yeah.
man, health. What you
Health.
eat,
Yeah.
and I'm not even the best at it, right? But working out and what you eat, what you put in your body, and
Mm.
it's funny because I just ate nachos right now.
Yeah, dude. I'm a
Yeah,
little bit hungover as well, so I can.
no,
Yeah.
but no, what you eat and how you work out and not just being at home and just sitting on your
Yeah.
couch watching TV, watching other people. Be
Yeah.
healthy. So
Be
that's
healthy. Yeah.
I would make it a point to really focus on health, right? Because it changed my life.
Mm.
Um, two,
What? Sorry to cut you off there. What
yeah,
anything specific for health? Are you promote just get up and move?
I
Or
think the one thing that really destroyed my life was working at FedEx and not having time to go to the gym, or them
okay.
like not really helping me go to the gym. So I'd probably like tell every job to let people have some time to go to the gym and actually pay for the gym for them, right? And
Yeah.
that's just the start. People won't. It takes more than just paying for the gym for somebody. People won't go do it, right? You
Yeah.
know, I don't know, but I think helping people pay for the gym and uh, and then promoting it too, why it's better. Because
Yeah.
if you would think so, delivering like for DHL, for FedEx, for UPS, you would think people would there'd be a lot of people that are healthy working that job, right? Um, well, there isn't. They're constantly moving, but they're overweight. A lot of them are overweight, bad knee
Yeah.
problems, or smoke cigarettes. I in the past year at my old station, two people just died of heart attacks. Like
Yeah.
that says a lot about the job, I think. Like
Mm.
it's a stressful job. If you would just get people to work out and eat healthy, that job would be a lot easier. And they don't promote it. They just promote time, 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 time.
They're a
We got to get
business. Yeah.
packages
They're
out.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And which
Yeah.
makes sense, but it's like I don't know.
Yeah. It's
I
not
was
good.
280 I was 280 pounds working for FedEx, right?
Shh.
And oh, not 280. I was about 260. I was 260 at one point working for FedEx. And if I was working now for FedEx, I'd actually deliver faster and quicker and be more motivated to deliver. But I'm healthy now.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's like once you get fit and healthy, you got more energy, and you can really put your all into whatever you're doing, whatever your task is. So okay, so that's number one. So healthiness, and then what's number two that you would implement?
Mm. I really think, um, and it's hard to say that because people take giving people money once a month to survive can bring out the creativity out of people because once people are done thinking about I'm talking to the bare minimum, right? The bare minimum of being able to eat. I'm not even talking about having a house over your head. I'm talking about the bare minimum to eat and have clothing on you. Like if they would just give, which they've been doing the stimulus checks and all that stuff, if they would just give like a certain amount of money each month you'd bring out the creativity out of people, right?
Is that a thing? Global income or something, I'm not sure. Um, yeah, I don't know.
There are talks of, I forget what it's called, but they talk about it, but
But they never do it.
yeah. So I'm talking about I'm not talking about buy people houses and stuff, but being able to say, hey, I'm able to eat today, I'm able to have clothing on my back, and enough money to survive and not think about surviving, right?
Sure.
And because I've seen people throughout the whole entire pandemic become different people once they didn't have to go to work every day, right? Once they didn't have to go to work every day and really be passionate about what they're doing at home. I've seen people create businesses. I've seen people create hobbies that made them money, and it all came from having time off and being able to spend a year at home just creating stuff. Yes, there are lazy people. There are lazy people out there, but it brings out the best out of some people, and then it makes some people lazy. And it's just, I don't know. I just think people
Yeah.
spend too much time working for somebody else. I'm talking about corporate businesses. I'm talking about big businesses. They spend too much time making money for somebody else. If you're working at a retail store, if you would just quit that job, I'm talking about like minimum wage retail store. If you would just quit that job and put your time and effort into something else, you could make minimum wage doing something else. Easy. You just have to work hard at it.
But what is that something else though? Like, I guess it's like the benefit of working a job is that we have that Friday paycheck.
Yes.
I guess it's like I'm just trying to be devil's advocate here. Like I'm just trying to, like, yeah. What are some things that people can do? What are
So
some?
it doesn't work for everybody, right? If you don't have a hobby, then you can't really do it. If you're not hustling, you can't really
If you're
do
not
it.
hustling, yeah,
Yeah, but look at what we're doing right now. It's 2021. You're talking to me on a somewhere completely far away from me. And we're connecting, right? Like
yeah,
that's what's possible in 2021.
yeah,
And I'm learning you can make money off of any hobby. If you make tables for a hobby, or like any little thing, if you make keychains for a hobby, you could sell money off of them. It's just you got to work at it. You got to promote yourself. It's free promoting now because of Instagram, Facebook, and Snap, all the other social medias. It's free promoting. You don't have to pay anybody to promote you. Um, you have it's with all the technology that they have that you could make stuff at home. My wife,
yeah.
she does crafting from home, and she's able to make all these keychains and things that hold your iPod cases and just a bunch
What's
of
your wife's Instagram?
Raquel Designs.
How do I spell it?
Raquel.
Something should come up on the screen
D.
now. Is that the one?
Yes.
All right, sweet. Raquel Designs. All right, guys. If you're watching this, you should follow Raquel Designs. Shout out to. So what's Is that just like a She makes her own jewelry. So like
Yes.
any
Jewelry,
specific
all that
type of
stuff.
jewelry or
It's not jewelry. It's more of just
sorry.
of crafting
Yeah.
and she makes cups. She'll print out stuff and put it on cups, make cups for you. She'll just make I can't really explain it because I'm not really into it, but
Yeah.
but she does a lot of just a lot of stuff from home. She'll print out greeting cards for people. She'll make the sashes for graduating classes. She'll make all those little things that you make for celebrations and stuff. She makes it from home. My sister is another example. She does crocheting, and she she knits and sews, and she makes beanies from home. And it's all because technology has gotten better, and because they have this hobby where they can make a bunch fast. It's not like before where you had to, like, we basically have a clothing store in our house, in our garage. It's crazy, and it's because the technology is getting better, and
Yeah.
that's it's just you have to figure out how to do it. I'm so passionate about it. I'm so passionate of trying to find ways to make money by yourself, right? We just got our LLC for our business license, our business. We trademarked our business name, I guess you would say. I'm trying to think of. We made it a business, Diaz Productions. Like that's our business now. So we're gonna podcast. We're gonna make apparel. Everything coming out of our household. We're gonna be a legit business. So it's gonna be fun, and it might fail, it might not. I don't know.
All the best for that. And
Does it sound crazy or like?
it sounds like there's passion behind what you're saying. So
Yeah.
I think anything that has passion behind, yeah, it's going. You've got drive, and I think that's a key. That's a key thing. I think I I don't think it's going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination,
No.
but yeah,
Oh.
but I think your heart's in the right place. So I think that's a real you got the foot in the door at the moment. You're in a good
Yeah.
spot at the moment. Yeah.
You know what's
Um,
crazy is that. Sorry.
I was just gonna say the tattoo on your right hand.
Oh,
Uh, sorry, not yeah, that one there. Is that like an Egyptian? Like what
yeah.
does that mean? Yeah. Okay.
It's the Eye of Ra, right?
Wow.
And and it's just it's not. I don't really base it on why I got it. It's not really based on the actual story of the Eye of Ra. It's growing up. My dad used to tell me that I'm different. You have a third eye. He told me this when I was like 9 years old, and I used to really believe I had the third eye. Like I had a third eye, and I would look in the mirror like, what third eye? What's he talking about? I have two eyes, right? And he said that I seen things different in this world, not like my brother or my sister. That I was, I don't know what he meant, but he used to always tell me that. And I'm as I got older, I'm realizing I'm different, and it's more of like I guess a artistic sense. Like I you look at an artist, like they see the world different, and it's kind of like that. I just like what we were talking about, like having the drive and the passion. Like
Yeah.
I don't know why other people don't have it. Like it amazes me that people don't have it, and it's just like, why don't you get up and go create something? I love creating stuff. I love
Yeah.
creating podcasts. I love creating this fight world that I'm in. Me as a fighter, I created this. I went out there and trained my ass off for years, and even at a older age. And it's just like this is because like my dad and people throughout my life have always told me that I'm different, and I thought they were just making fun of me, but I guess I'm coming into it now.
Can I ask you a question? You know how
Yeah.
you're saying that you always need to be creating something. What happens when you're not creating something? Does your mind switch off, or like is your mind always on? Um I'm not sure if I'm making sense, but
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, like do you ever feel like shit, I need to be doing something with this time that I have? Um
All
and
the
if you
time.
yeah, all the time. And do you feel like when you're not doing something productive, that do you start like self-loathing? Like do you feel like shit, I should really be using this time? What happens when you're not using, what goes through your mind when you're not using the time efficiently?
Uh, I like it's like I don't turn off. Like it's very hard. Like
Don't.
I literally have to meditate by myself to turn off or do something that's meditative running really helps me. Like after a run, I'm calm, right? I'm really
Yeah.
calm. And or there's a game I play. It's called Hearthstone, right? And it's a card game on your phone, and that zones me out. Like I literally need to put my phone away. I need to get rid of everything. So there has to be at least like a Sunday or some day where there could be nothing around me where I'm actually working on something. And I'm getting better at it. It's hard to do because you're right. Like once I stop, once my brain turns off, like once I'm not doing anything, my brain doesn't turn off, and I'm constantly thinking, I got to do this, I got to do that. So it's a good thing and a bad thing at the
It's a
same time.
good. See, I think that constant chatter in the mind. I think other people don't have that. I think I think other people they're okay with doing nothing. They're okay with watching Netflix. They're okay with all this other stuff, and like you're not okay with that. So it's yeah,
It's
dude.
so
It's
crazy.
yeah, it's so
Like,
crazy. Yeah, it's that drive.
because
It's that yeah,
I look at so my sister, she lives with me, right? She's a fighter too. She's a Muay Thai fighter too, and she's doing her own thing. My sister and my daughter and my wife, they'll be sitting down just watching a movie, right? And
yeah,
I'm looking at them like, why are you guys watching this? Go do something. It's the middle of the day. Go do something. Go create something. And they're just looking
yeah,
at me like, it's Sunday. It's Sunday at 12 o'clock. Like, what is there to do? Like,
yeah.
and
What is there
it's,
to do? Yeah,
yeah. And it's
I
like,
think yeah.
yeah, go
So
ahead.
sorry. I was just gonna say yeah. I think when you really slow down and when you really take time to actually think about your life, you want to ask yourself the question: what have I accomplished with my life? What have I left? What's my legacy? What have I left behind? You know, am I gonna end up on the deathbed and am I gonna be just another person that just dies and doesn't really contribute to society, or am I going to be that person that contributes to society? I'm going to put 100% in every single day and really, move forward with my life because I mean, I don't feel like that all the time. Like I'm feeling, or maybe
Yeah.
I'm a little bit hungover, and I'm a little bit, I don't know, but so all the emotions are coming out. But
Yeah.
yeah, look, I feel like those questions do go through my mind, and I'm sure they go through your mind as well. Like the legacy, like what are you leaving behind? What are you doing with your family? How are you, like I think those questions don't go through those people's mind. Like,
Oh, it
yeah,
constantly does. It constantly
you
does.
can't,
That's the number one
yeah,
thing that I tell my daughter. I tell my daughter all the time, stop watching people. Be the one that people are watching. Like it's
yeah.
just it's something that really irritates me is when people are just mindlessly scrolling. And it's funny because we put out a drug for people without even knowing it.
Yeah.
These podcasts,
We,
these podcasts,
we
yeah,
oh,
we're
dude,
drug
yeah, I
dealers
know. We're
basically.
drug dealers, yeah. Get the dopamine hit. Get the dopamine hit, yeah.
Yeah. And it's not the actual podcast. The podcast, when you listen to it, that's not really the dopamine. That's just, that's something to hear and it teaches people. It's the new learning kind of. But it's the little quick clips, the stuff on Instagram, the stuff on Facebook, the little quick clips that people are scrolling and they're watching, and it's a drug, and it irritates me, but you have to do it to promote the podcast. I wish people would just go to the podcast and just listen to it, so I don't have to do all this other stuff that I feel bad for, that people are wasting their times watching it, you know?
So speaking of your podcast, what are ways that you're promoting your show?
So I do Instagram, I do Facebook, I'm just started on TikTok, I do Snapchat, but honestly,
Do you ever feel
I do pay.
overwhelmed? Do you ever feel
Go ahead.
sorry? Do you ever feel overwhelmed?
Hmm. Yes.
Like all these, yeah. Like I mean, I guess I'm just gonna take myself for an example. Like, yeah, I was trying to do Instagram, YouTube, like trying to, but now I'm like, I think it's easier just to focus on one channel. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go YouTube and whatever happens. Like, I don't know. Like, my brain just becomes fried when I have to cater for so many different types of channels. It's like, well, dude, I'm just gonna go on YouTube and that's it. Like,
Who's that? The Brizzy Badass? How's it going, Brizzy Badass?
oh, is
No,
someone on is someone on the
yeah,
stream?
they said hi. Um,
Oh, hey, Brizzy Badass. Oh, cool. He's on Twitch. Sweet. All right.
no,
But that I mean, I'm on Restream at the moment, so this is like broadcasting to all platforms. So I mean, that's the beauty about Restream, I guess.
you have to find your balance because I'm barely finding it. At first, I was trying to create new stuff all the time, all the time. But after a while, when I'd made 96 episodes of our
Wow.
content, and my wife has all these recordings that she did for my fighting and my training and all this stuff for family time. And I realized that I don't have to keep on creating new stuff. I have a bunch of stuff already saved. Why not repurpose it? So now I've been repurposing my videos, my Instagram, my podcast videos, my fighting videos, finding pictures that I haven't posted before, and just making little clips or different. I posted this. Do you know what do they call cartwheels? Where you're able to swipe on
Oh, yep.
Instagram.
Yep.
So I found a bunch of pictures that I've already reposted, that I already posted before, and I put them all together in a cartwheel, and where people are gonna scroll, and I just put like little things that changed my life, and I put it on there, and I just like being healthy and not caring what people think. On each picture, I put a different thing that changed my life, and these are the same pictures I posted before, but something like that was easy, right? It wasn't.
Yeah.
I didn't have to go take new pictures. I didn't have to go, and so you just have to find what's easy for you. So when I have an episode now, I just repurpose it. I just make clips of it, like the weekend before, and the hardest part is the captions, is writing out the captions. That takes the most time. Like, it's just
Yeah. Do you do it on the
you just
phone or on a laptop?
all on my phone, all on my phone. The laptop, it's hard because I'm always on the go. I'm
Yeah,
training,
always on
I'm
the go.
podcasting, I'm always on the go. So I'm just boom, 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 boom. It would be easier on the laptop. And I told my sister the other day, I was like, Isabel, you want to say hi? So this is my sister, Isabel. She's a fighter too. This is
Oh,
Kristian. He has a podcast. Go, so it's good to
hello.
see you.
Hello.
No, but I told her she needs to start doing my captions for me because I'm tired of them. Because it
Because
does take time.
I was gonna say, like, if you do it on a laptop, you can have templates. Like, you just copy and paste, and you just change a few words. I don't know if that fits into your model, like what you're doing, but yeah, like I do everything on my PC. Like, I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to that sort of stuff. Like
Yeah.
I'll geek out like on the PC and yeah. But how do you edit?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, how do you edit your So that's all on the phone. Everything you do is on the phone, right?
I edit the audio on my laptop. So I have a MacBook.
Okay, I
I'm
gotta.
barely getting into. Yeah, I have a MacBook.
Yeah,
I'm barely getting into like the technology and stuff. When I first started this back in June of last year, I didn't even know how to work my phone. I was never on social media. Like, I'd post when I fought, and that was it. And
yeah.
I just started loving the technology. And I edit the audio on my laptop, but the video, I just like touchscreen better. I like touchscreen way better when I'm video editing, and it's working for me now. I'm getting a little bit better, but timing, I mean, patience and time is the number one thing I view for editing. It's because you could do it quickly, but it won't be good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. So do you edit every single episode, or do you like you edit the audio? Are you editing every episode?
Depends on how much time have. So for
Yeah.
my podcast, the hassle of hair, um, I don't I don't it doesn't need that much editing because it's a one-on-one conversation like how we're doing. It's an interview. So it's just the person telling their stories. And I do another podcast called the Happy Diger podcast, and it's
Is
my
is that is that it there? The hassle. Did I spell it right?
yes, yeah, that's the hassle of hair.
There you go, guys. Anyone
Yeah.
listening now on the stream, go check out the hassle of hair. So that's your podcast. And what do you have do you have a theme that you talk about, or just is it random, or um,
No,
what do you usually?
so it took me a while to figure out what I was doing because at first I was just talking to people, but the number one thing is people going after their dreams and their passions and just
Yeah,
going after it and going all in, right?
yeah,
And we have professional fighters, we've had chess players, we've had doctors, it doesn't matter as long as if it's your passion, I want to know your story and what you're doing. But there are a few people that have been on this journey with me that I'm going to keep on having on, and just to show people, like when I first met them, they barely started. Like there's a cameraman that I just did a podcast with him. His name's Gabe, and he when I first met him, he was 17 years old, and he's been there throughout my whole journey of doing this podcast. He's been helping me, and I want to show people he might not have a good story yet, like because he's young and he hasn't really been through life. But I want to keep on interviewing him. So every time I interview him, it's another step. It's another step,
uh,
and see how far he goes. But so those ones people don't really understand yet, like why it fits into the podcast. But after years of doing it, hopefully,
that's a good idea. Whoa, that's like watching it's like watching a tree grow in like fast motion. It's like
yeah,
yeah. And I think you
and
would grow as well. I think you would change as a host. So that would be like
yeah,
that would be really cool. I like that idea. Yeah.
yeah. So I do have people from different cities, different countries, but I've really tried to stay local in Los Baños because Los Baños, California, in Spanish it means the bathrooms, right?
Okay.
And it's always known as this place as a country town, the middle of nowhere, and a small city that nobody wants to go to. But we're growing. So around us is LA, which is Hollywood. You have San Francisco, that's an hour away. You have LA, that's 3 hours away. You have Silicon Valley, which is an hour away. Like you have all these cities around Las Vegas, which is not that far from us. I think 4 hours away. Um, but you have all these cities that are really, really big cities and known all over the world, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure you know Hollywood and San Francisco and all those cities, right?
I've never been there,
And
but yeah, I know of them. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and we're in the smack dab right in the middle, but everybody has made fun of us for a lot of years. And I'm trying to show people how creative people are in this town. And
Yeah.
because for
Which
so
part?
many
Which
years,
sorry? Which town are you from? Sorry.
Los Baños, California.
Oh, Los.
In
Yeah. Sorry, you
English,
said that. Yeah. Los
yeah.
Baños. Yeah.
In English, it means the bathroom, the baths, or people take it as the bathrooms, right? In Spanish, baños is bathroom. And for so long, people have graduated high school and said, I'm leaving. I need to get out of here. I need to go to LA. I need to go to San Francisco. I need to go to San Jose or Silicon Valley where Apple is, where Google is. And everybody wants to leave. But I'm trying to say, hey,
Yeah.
we're a good city here. We have creative people. We have people that are gonna be successful. And I'm trying to show that. And hopefully, because we are growing. We just got a Chipotle. Do you know what Chipotle is?
Is it a restaurant chain? Food chain?
Yeah,
Is
it's
it?
a restaurant.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Sorry,
it's like,
this is the Australian. You know, like not. You know. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
And
that's all.
it's just it's for so long this place has been like the place not to be, and I'm trying to show it as the place that you should be, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Shout out. Yeah. Man, you're a trailblazer. You're definitely I think and I mean that in a good way. I mean that in the most positive
Yeah,
way. Like I think the world needs people like you, and And yeah, so and I
I
think
think
everyone can.
I sorry.
Go ahead. Sorry, what were you saying?
No, I don't want people thinking of me as a fighter, right? Like I know I
Okay.
do have the fighter things on there, and I mean it's kind of like I'm doing it every day, so it's hard to talk about,
Mm,
but I don't want people thinking me as a fighter. That's not what people. I'm realizing I'm more than a fighter, and that's what happens is people label themselves. They label themselves into something, and I don't want to do that. I'm I'm somebody trying to be everything, and I hope people see me, and say, you know what, I'm gonna try a bunch of stuff, and be whoever I want to be, not be labeled by something. Because you see a lot of
yeah.
pro fighters when they get out of their careers, they don't have anything else. And that's
Mm,
one thing, being around other pro fighters, you see who really just dove into this head first without anything else, right? And
yeah.
after their careers, they what do they do? You know, and I'm trying to tell people, hey, we only get one life. We get one life, and you're gonna waste it doing stuff you don't like to do. Get out there and do a bunch of stuff that you like to do. Don't just do one thing. Do a bunch of stuff, right? Like I don't want to be the greatest at one thing. I want to be someone that's good at a shitload of things.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. No worries. Well, we're coming up to the hour mark there, and I think I might leave the podcast at that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been really nice speaking with you, and
Thank you.
yeah, I hope people at home and listening, and they've taken out a few things as well. And how can people? What's the best way to follow you? Like I know that you've got. I'll put up your. So for anyone
The
listening,
hassle of
watching
hair.
now, yeah, the hassle of hair. So that's your podcast, and how are other ways that people can connect with you online?
Jesse the Hassle Diaz on Instagram, and I'm always
Or
a DM away. Yeah.
DM. Yeah.
I'm always a DM away. Whatever if you want to message me, if you need help with something, or even podcasting, let me know. I always respond. Yeah, Jesse the Hassle Diaz. Yeah, that's the best way.
That's the best way. No worries, Jesse. Well, enjoy yourself and.